Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me and see the document?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. Good
ma'am. Good
evening.
evening.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so last week we were looking at tenses, and again, I'm going to first talk about an introductory activity, but just to highlight the way we are going to proceed. One, I'm going to start with present tense in detail. I did cover the main parameters of present and past in the previous session, but I'm going to be going over all of those aspects again in detail, and also looking at various abstractions, for example, affirmative, interrogative, negative, and how do we formulate all of those in various tenses. Before we start with that, I have a few sentences, and I would want, if somebody is ready, you can unmute yourself or you can write the answers in the chat box, whatever's convenient. And I would want all of you to try and let me know if this, whichever sentence I read out, if you think that sentence pertains to present or future. That's something we're going to talk about before we start looking at tenses. Okay, this is a new batch. Yes, there are old students. Yes, we have already started looking at tenses, but like I said, I'm going to redo that in a lot of detail. So for new students, all of you, your class begins with tenses today. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with the first sentence. We should leave soon. The last flight departs at midnight. The last flight departs at midnight. We should leave soon is the first sentence. Anyone would like to tell me present or future?
Ma'am, future. Future.
Present.
Future tense, future tense, future tense.
Okay, whoever's saying present and future, what I want us to do is tell me the verb that tells you it's present or future. First.
It's a future tense.
Ma'am, we should leave soon as the flight departs at midnight, because the flight departs at midnight, so it will be future.
Okay.
Should meaning we should do it right now. So present tense.
Yes, ma'am. That part is present, and then second part is future.
Okay. So the point why we're doing this is to ensure that I can at least try to demonstrate that one tense may not and certainly is not only used for that particular tense and aspect. So there are going to be times that we are perhaps using one tense, but we are trying to not talk about the tense and the aspect that we are using that particular tense for. However, we are intentionally trying to highlight another time aspect by using one time aspect. So here we should leave soon. The last flight departs at midnight. Although the verb aspect is simple present, here should is it is an auxiliary and leave is verb one. The last flight departs at midnight. Departs also is in present tense. However, the meaning, the essence of the sentence is not in present, it is in future. Is that good so far?
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Ma'am, can you
I
explain the
couldn't-
reason?
Yes, I can. A lot of times we use one tense, which, for example, here it's simple present tense, but I'm not using simple present tense to talk about present. A lot of times we interuse tenses also. And that is when I start talking about present tense another 5 minutes from now, I am going to highlight as to how we can use simple present for future. In which scenario? I mean, not in any and every scenario it can be used. There are certain parameters to that, and how we ensure that we adhere to those parameters and use simple present tense correctly is what we're going to be looking at. Second sentence, I'm meeting some colleagues for dinner this weekend. Would you like to come? Present, future.
Present.
The rest?
Future, ma'am.
Present.
Future, ma'am.
Future, ma'am.
Present
Future, ma'am.
continuous.
Okay.
Future, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Present.
Any other answer? Anyone? Apart from present future, like somebody had present continuous, so I'm going to
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about that.
It is in present continuous tense because I am meeting. That's a syntax form of present continuous.
Syntax form, yes. Meaning, Kiran, is it
Meaning is
present
in future.
continuous?
Meaning is
Yes.
in future.
Yes.
But,
Yes. Meaning is in
the-
future.
but according to syntax, it is in present continuous.
This part is present continuous. However, this is not. This is simple present.
Yes, ma'am.
However, with present continuous and present, both of them combined here, I am not talking about present. I'm talking about an aspect which is yet to happen. I have not met those colleagues. The weekend has not come so far. Right? So far, clear, everyone?
Yes.
Thank you. We can celebrate when we won the case, not before.
Future.
Future tense. It's a future tense.
Future, ma'am.
Future.
Thank you. You look a little tired today. Is anything the matter? Present?
Present.
Present.
tense.
Present.
Present.
Great.
Present.
Yes. Adam is facing problems with his car again.
Present.
Present tense.
Present.
Present tense.
Present.
Okay. So we've done 5 sentences so far. I'm going to pause here. 6 to 10, those sentences we are going to look at post we go through the content, the topic that I'm going to cover, and try and analyze if we've been able to enhance that understanding or not. Okay, I'm going to start with simple present tense. So far, I think I have enunciated the fact that we use the simple present tense to talk about habits, to talk about situations that do not change, general truths. We've also looked at routine, repetitive action. But again, today I'm going to not only talk about things that we've looked at, but also talk about how this tense can be used in varied manners. Before I start, I'm going to look at the structure. These are the 6 subjects that we have in English language, which is I, you, he, she, it, we all, you all, they all. For I is first person singular.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone else, when I'm explaining, I would really appreciate if you can please ensure you're on mute. If you have a question, I will listen to it post explaining. Meanwhile, let's do that. Moving back to subject pronouns, I, first person singular, you, second person singular, he, she, it, third person singular. When I say it, all singular objects are in this subject always. We all, you all, they all, and they are first person plural, second person plural, third person plural, respectively. Looking at a few verbs, I have I think a list of verbs here in their infinitive forms, and I'm also going to show as to how that it is with this subject, he, she, it, that with any verb in simple present tense, it's going to always incorporate an S, which is not going to happen for any other subject. Please keep that in mind. He, have, cannot work. It is always he has. He write well, cannot work. He writes well. She speak well will also not work. She speaks well. So he, she, it function well will not work. It functions well. So each time the subject is he, she, it, your verb in simple present tense has to have an S. And this is, for example, I'm going to start with only one verb, and for the sake of the example, I'm going to use to write, and all of the verbs follow the same pattern. I write, you write, he, she, it cannot write, but yeah, it as a machine can write. So it writes, we write, you all write, and they all write. That is how we conjugate verbs in the simple present tense. When I say conjugate, what I'm trying to say is we change the form of the verb from one tense to another according to subject. Excuse me. Now I'm going to talk about things that we use the simple present tense for. Which aspects do we use that for?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, but your pace is quite fast.
You want me to speak slower?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Please, ma'am.
I will do that. Thank you. We use the simple present tense to talk about habits, all habits, because of the fact that they have a routine, all habits have a certain pattern. Everything that is repetitive, when I say repetitive, means it is going to keep repeating. So because of the fact that it has a pattern, hence it'll always use the simple present tense. They wake up at 8 a.m. I read before sleeping every night. He prefers coffee over tea. All of these sentences demonstrate that there is a certain habit, which is waking up at 8 a.m. or reading before sleeping, or, for a person who prefers coffee over tea. So all habits pertain to simple present tense. Clear? This much?
Ma'am.
Thank you. Moving forward to unchanging situations. Now, when I say unchanging situations, it's not that situation can never change, but in a normal scenario, this is what the general truth is. For example, I say he lives in Delhi. Of course, he can choose to live somewhere else, but under normal circumstances, usually that's what he does. He lives in Delhi. So things that do not change or are not, I would paraphrase the sentence, or for the sake of a better word, things that are not transitionary will be unchanging here. I mean, it's the point is from the perspective of how easy is that transition. If that transition is not very easy, a person has to deviate from their normal life to do something, it would fall under the bracket of unchanging situation. So he lives in Delhi. The store is open till 7:30 p.m. Like I said, normally, usually, that's what happens. She works in London. Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. General truths and facts. All truths and facts are going to be in simple present. Now, when I say this, I also want to underscore the fact that at a certain point of time, we may find ourselves in a conundrum that, for example, somebody is not alive, but if that person has said something which is still true, which is still a fact, please stick to the fact. Don't look at the fact if that person is alive or not, because if you're stating a fact, then it's less about the person, more about the fact, and the fact will not cease to not be true in case the person is not alive. So because of the fact that the fact is going to be true, no matter if the person who did it or said it is alive or not, please understand, because of that, we have to ensure all general truths pertain to simple present tense. New Delhi is the capital of India. Spiders make webs. India is the largest producer of jute in the world. Questions with understanding this point? General truths and facts?
No.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward to the next point, which also demonstrates the first or the second sentence that we looked at. For example, here, we should leave soon. This last flight departs at midnight. The fact that something has already been scheduled, and okay, for example, I say each time I have to tell all of you, the classes are on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, during the weekdays, and Sundays on weekends. I say are, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the
Yes, ma'am.
fact that the schedule has been made right now, in the present moment, it is ready. So when something has been arranged for future, but the fact that it is ready, that allows us the space to use simple present even for actions which are yet to happen. They haven't occurred yet. However, there's one asterisk, I would say, to this, which is that these fixed arrangements cannot be really far into the future. Like, you cannot say, probably, for example, the flight lands at 9 p.m. Today, understood. Tomorrow, understood. It can't be, after 6 months from the current moment. Then you have to use the future tense. So if that time period is not extremely far, then, and the fact that the arrangement has been made right now, it allows us the space to use simple present for future. Good so far?
That Ma'am, can
Yes,
we
ma'am.
tell the flight will land by 9 p.m.? Can we tell, ma'am? The flight will land by 9 p.m.
Yes, you can use that also, Ramesh. Both of them are correct. It's just another way that if you use the flight lands at 9 p.m., means that that's the arrangement, versus when you say the flight will land at 9 p.m., is you're telling me that, okay, today, or if I'm asking you what time is the flight going to land, and then you tell me. But the fact that it is a schedule, prefer to use something which is a simple present tense. But the other one is also right. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Then where all we use at, ma'am? At where we use, in where we use that? Can we differentiate it, ma'am? Why we are using at and in where we use?
Okay, Ramesh, perhaps on Sunday, I will talk about it. Okay? I'm going to
Yes,
make a
ma'am.
note and I will cover it on Sunday.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Moving back. Anyone else? Any other question? Moving forward to repeated actions. All repeated actions, because of the fact that they are repetitive in nature, will always ascribe to the simple present tense. Another very important thing
Your voice.
Can you all hear me? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
echoing before. It's fine now.
Okay.
Now it's fine.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
you
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
are audible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. For all repeated actions, because of the fact that they also come under the umbrella of following a certain pattern, hence it is simple present tense. We go to the mountains every summer for hiking. He usually comes late on Saturdays. Every Sunday, they visit the orphanage. It is a repeated action. Again, when I say the time bracket of the action is something that I have tried to increase. This is every Sunday, weekly, usually comes late on Saturdays, weekly. This is according to season, every summer. So even if it is a repeated action or a habit which has a gap or an interval of a longer duration, even then we can use simple present tense. All instructions, if for example you're writing an email, or if you're writing an instruction to anyone in an email message, or even if you're giving it orally, always for all instructions and directions we use the simple present tense. You can't say you will do this. No, you have to use the simple present tense. So wait for my call before you take action, rather than before you will take action. Take right after the first roundabout. Do not speak to anyone about this. It is a confidential matter. Good? So far?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Adverbs of frequency. Now, when I say the word adverbs of frequency, what I want to highlight is number one, when only those adverbs of frequency that also highlight the word usually, normally, often, mostly, which depict the fact that this is the usual stage. For example, rarely I cannot say that, always I will use negative adverbs with frequency with simple present. Depends upon that. But words like never, words like sometimes, always, anytime, most of the time, often, all of these words which are adverbs of frequency, they will always use simple present tense. Examples of the same: sometimes I wake up late on Sundays. He's never late. She always updates the boss about the new developments in all her cases. Good so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we do have something which is called, or which is known as a conditional statement. Now, when I say conditional statement, that can be various kinds: first, second, third, fourth, mixed conditional. But the only reason I'm talking about it now is this is an example of a first conditional, and this is also an example of the first conditional. So first conditional, they have to incorporate the word if or when in order to formulate a first conditional. When I say a conditional, what I'm trying to say is, if you submit this on time, the teacher will check it and revert. So here, when I'm saying if, the if or when, whichever word you use to depict condition, remember this always, because this is the one of the most one of the most ambiguous areas. Your simple present is only going to follow the time word. For example, when I see him, this see, because it is following when, it is going to be in present. First verb after if, because that is what is showing the condition, is going to be in present. The outcome, resultant, consequential aspect that's going to happen is going to be in another tense, which is for first conditional, always going to be future. So I'll discuss this here, future, I will discuss this with him when I see him. After when, you cannot say, I will discuss this with him when I will see him. If you say when I will see him, it is incorrect. You can't say, if it will rain heavily, we will get drenched. No, if it rains heavily, we'll get drenched. You can't, making sense? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
A little more
Yes,
explanation.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
A little more explanation, please.
sure.
Ma'am, please explain once again. Not clear.
Okay.
Ma'am, please go a little slow.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go slower and explain this again. Time words. Let's understand what a time word is first of all. Any word that helps me denote a condition which is basis something is what I'm trying to talk about right now. That's number one. When I say I will do this when you send it, so when in this sentence, I will do this when you send it, there is something that is the basis. Only if you send it, I will be able to do it, right? Yes? So far?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay, so whichever that condition is, number one, that condition, whatever condition we are talking about, is always going to be preceded by the time word. Here, when I see him, the time word when is before. If it rains, in this phrase, if it rains, here rains, again, the time word if is before. So this much is clear, that the time word has to be first and then the verb will come. This part is clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
when we employ that verb after the time word, that verb has to be in simple present. It cannot be in future. You can't say, I will do this when you will send it. No, when you send it, not when you will, because after when, you cannot use future. You have to use simple present. After if, you can't say if it will rain. No, if it rains. Making sense now?
Yes.
Ma'am, this
So much.
applies to every
Yes, ma'am.
aspect, like everywhere it applies to, like,
Purnima, this is only the first conditional. There are other kinds of sentences also, other kinds of conditionals also. So far, this is just the first conditional, which has one simple present and one future.
Ma'am.
Can I finish with the previous person, please?
Okay.
I will listen to you. Thank you. Yes, Purnima, is that good?
ma'am, can I have an example, like, apart from this, like,
Another example?
yeah.
Okay, for example, I say, if you read this, you will understand it. When I'm saying if you read this, after if, I'm using read in simple present, right?
Okay.
You
Yes, ma'am.
will understand it. The result is going to happen in future. The condition is going to be in present.
Okay, the condition is present and action is future.
Yes.
The condition is okay.
Good?
No, condition is present and action is future.
Yes, exactly. So if it rains, hence if it rains, not if it will rain. The condition is if it rains, what is the outcome? The outcome is going to be that we will get drenched. The
Okay.
outcome is going to be in future.
Okay, understood, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, next person.
Ma'am, I just want to repeat this.
Tell me.
Hello?
Yes, tell me. What do you want to repeat? You want me to
Ma'am,
repeat
that
something?
when, use of when.
When? Okay.
Yes.
So when as a time word, what it does is, okay, what is the difference between if and when?
If is a condition and uh, when means if I mean
No, when doesn't mean if. So the difference between if, yes, anyone else would like to try?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if is like something, ma'am, if literally means that, ma'am, it may happen, it may not. Whereas when is that, it would definitely happen, but the time is not known.
Yes, thank you.
If
Anyone else?
is condition centric and when is time centric,
Yes.
if I may say.
Anyone else would like to try?
If is a clause used to, like you can go to the shop if you promise to behave properly. So this is a clause added to the sentence, and when is the time.
That is also a clause, Nuri. So I would not say clause can be a differentiating factor. However, now to talk about when I say if, within if
is a condition.
Yes, yes. Okay, within if, the perspective is the fact that you have no idea about it. You don't know if yes, neither do you know if no. That is the perspective with if. Versus when you use when, the perspective is yes, it will happen. You just don't know when it will happen. There is no clarity about time with when, but the existence of that particular condition is absolute. However, with if, the existence of that condition is not absolute. Making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Could you please repeat?
Yes. When I say when, the fact that that condition is going to be true is something I have cognizance of. I am aware of it. But I don't know what time will it happen. Versus with if, I am not aware at all, will that action happen or not? Good?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to move forward to how do we formulate questions with simple present. Now, each time we have a verb, for example, I'm just going to look at one question here and explain it through that, and thereafter look at other questions. The first question that I have here is, do you live in Washington? Now, when I say do you live, the verb essentially is live. And that is the difference between a statement and a question. Like, for example, if I have to break this, when I say I live in some place, can you tell me the placement? I is, what is I?
The subject.
Yes. Live is?
Verb.
Okay. So each time there is a subject and verb after that, that is the syntax of a statement. Each time we have to formulate a question, it interchanges. Hence, here we have an auxiliary, or you can say it is an expletive or an auxiliary verb that you add prior to the subject. Much before the subject, you add a question word. So we've added that. Here it was subject and then verb. Here, if it is you live in Washington, D.C., before you also, which is the subject, there is another verb. So there is verb, then there is a subject, then there is another verb, and then of course there's predicate. That is the syntax, the essential difference between what a statement and a question syntactically is. Is that good so far?
Yes.
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now I'm going to quickly move forward to the following questions here. Do you live in Washington, D.C.? Here I've incorporated do. to formulate a question in simple present. Where do they live? I've incorporated a question word. I'm going to talk about all the question words that can be used as well. Does Patrick live in Texas? The fact that Patrick, again, remember subject, when we were looking at subjects, Patrick belongs to third person singular, he, she, it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it is he, she, it, your do will also, for a question, change to does. You can't say do Patrick. It has to be does Patrick live in Texas? Do Adam and Claire, the subject over here is third person plural, live in Russia? Does Jane live across the street? Good with questions so far? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And what is Patrick here?
Subject.
Okay. So is this a personal name?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
it could be, Ram, Sham, all of those names. Moving forward to which all questions can be used, or which all question words can be paraphrased and incorporated while formulating a question. Where can be used, what can be used, when can be used, how and why. An example, who is a question word, that cannot be used. Example of all of the all of these are what I'm going to start with. Let's quickly try to formulate a question with where, and use any subject. You all have the freedom, and send it quickly in the chat box. And let's see what is the syntax that we are trying to follow.
Ma'am, sorry, but what are we supposed to do?
So, Shivam, what we're supposed to do is, you see these questions? Do you live in Washington, D.C.? So it can be, where does James live? So here we have to formulate sentences with these question words, incorporating do, does, and the predicate thereafter in simple present.
Okay,
Good?
ma'am, thank you. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, Muhammad, where Ram lives, that's the point. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's incorrect. Where does Ram live? You will add the S to the first verb does. Live will not have an S. Priya, does Aman live in Delhi? Does. One person, third person singular. Priyank, work in, no, work at. If it is location, if it is field and realm, then work in. Where is
Okay, madam, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just trying to tell you so that you don't make a mistake. That's it. Where is the color? Where beneath, where you have been? No, where have you been?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, many times I got confused to where to use have been or normal. Like I confused to use have been many
Have been.
times.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to, I mean, it's a part of tenses, Ruchi. We're going to get there, I think perhaps this class or next class. So I'm going to be covering it soon. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Where does this people to be? Kiran, where does the speaker to the US Congress visits recently? Both the verbs have an S. Can I say, does Patrick lives in Texas?
No, ma'am.
Paraphrase it, please.
Where does the speaker to the US Congress visit recently?
Actually, it won't be, because you said visit recently. No, you're breaking the time part. It is recently, then it will be where did, simple past. Remember? One time action in the past.
Yes.
So here you can't use present at all. For example, but you can say the speaker visits XYZ, regularly, normally. So again, when you say recently, remember, I was talking about which adverbs can be used. When you say recently, it is an adverb of simple past.
Yes.
Okay. Smita, where do your parents live? With parents, it's plural. So does will change to do. Only, Smita, if it is singular. Where does your mother live? Where does your sister, uncle, one human being does? More than one, it can never be he, she, it. Okay?
Okay.
Anita, where are your shoes? Do your shoes won't work? What do you do for a living? Ruchi, please avoid sending R and you all. I mean, it's a language class. Please use words. What do you do for a living? Where do you live? Okay, I'm going to move forward now. I have tried to skim through sentences that I could, but I'm going to move forward. This part clear, simple present so far. Any question, any doubt?
Ma'am, one question. Ma'am, as you discussed about simple present, my question is, what do we mean literally by simple present?
What do we mean literally by simple present?
Yes.
See, present tense, present is a tense. Okay, present, past, future, all of these are broad brackets of tenses. Okay, when I say simple present, it is a part or a subdivision, subcategorization of the tense present. Present in present is simple present. If I have to explain it in, right words, present in present is equal to literally simple present. Making sense or no?
Can you explain some more?
Yes, I can. So see, you have three tenses. I said past, present, future, right? Under the present, there is simple present. There's present continuous. There are four other aspects under the present tense. Simple present stands for now. The present of the present is equal to simple present. Making sense now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Question with simple present?
Slightly move to the top, ma'am. That one small doubt. Slightly here, down, ma'am. Down. Who does this belong to? What is the meaning, ma'am? Who does this belong to means? What is the meaning?
I am going to cover this after a while. That's why I haven't. I mean, it's in a different topic. I'm going to cover it in a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to start talking simple present. Anyone else apart from this? Whatever we have done. Questions in that?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving forward to present continuous tense. Number one is the syntax. Syntax of present continuous. Now, when I say present continuous, number one, it is used to talk about an activity in progress. It is currently happening. It is not my present state. Remember how I probably, just now explained what simple present is. It is the present of the present. It is my normal present state in my present, right?
Yes,
right.
This, on the other hand, is not the present of the present. It is the currently going on in the present. That's what present continuous is. I am speaking right now. I speak every day, always. My present is that I speak all the time because I have to. I keep doing classes. So I speak all the time. But I am speaking in this class right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we able to understand the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Please elaborate.
I am breathing. That also will come on. I am breathing.
No, Ramesh, breathing cannot work because I breathe. You always breathe, right? If you stop breathing, you won't be alive. So I am breathing will never be present continuous. Okay? moving back to the syntax.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Many times we doctor ask us when he check us from stethoscope. Na, he asked to take long breath and deep breath. So in that case, we can use it it as verb.
Yeah, I mean, you even in present you're using it. I breathe like as a verb only. But what I'm trying to say is, if in the current moment a doctor is asked, "Can you breathe?" and then you say, "No, I'm not able to." See, even then I'm saying I'm not able to breathe, or
Yeah.
I'm able to breathe. No, breathing will not work.
Okay.
The reason, Ruchi, I'm within this, I am going to also, yes, here. These are the verbs I'm going to cover, and I will talk about which all verbs and why they cannot, because breathing is a verb of the sense. All of
Yeah.
these verbs cannot be in ing. Again, can I reach there and we'll talk about it? Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. No problem. No problem.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
ma'am.
Uh, now I'm going to talk about the structure, the syntax, that is. Always there's going. Why is the subject pronouns in the middle? It's a question. Okay. A structure of a sentence, not a question, a sentence first. First is going to be subject pronoun. I am speaking. Am, is, are, they will always depend upon the subject. I am, you are, he is, we are, you all are, they are. So any inflection of to be in simple present, because this is present continuous, so this part of to be has to be in present, and the verb after that is going to be verb 1 plus ing, which is speak plus ing, speaking. I am speaking. Is that good? The structure of a sentence so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the structure for an interrogative statement, which is a question. Again, like the previous time, I explained that we will make sure that the subject. Everyone else, can we please put ourselves on?
What he sent a WhatsApp number, but unavailable.
Okay. With a question, the first thing is going to be a verb, and then it's going to be a subject pronoun, and thereafter another verb. So am I listening to the speaker? When I say am I listening, are they waiting? Are is a verb, they is the subject, waiting is another verb. Now, for all interrogative purposes, that is how the position of the subject pronoun is going to be. Is that good so far? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm going to talk about verbs that cannot be used in this tense at all. A blanket ban on these verbs in the present tense. Now, the only time you can use it, certain times, when you're doing it in that moment. However, most times, for example, the verb prefer. Even if I say right now, I prefer to have a glass of water, even then I'm saying right now, I prefer. Most times that even if you're doing it in the current moment, you may be able to change it, but it's always going to be better if you do not change it. Like, I will never use the word preferring. I am preferring it right now. You can't preferring something. It has to be I prefer something or you don't prefer something. So talking about these verbs, they cannot be changed into ing. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, many times we listen that people use what would you prefer, or I will prefer this, or means so many people means many times they use like what would you prefer, or I would like to prefer
Prefer there,
this.
right? It's not
Yes.
preferring.
Oh,
Prefer
yeah.
will work as prefer.
Yes.
It's just the point, you can't say preferring.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Verbs of thinking, verbs of thinking and feeling. All verbs that involve thinking, which is mental, feeling, which is emotional, will never ever be I am, believing, disliking, loving, recognizing. All of these words will not be in ing. Let's quickly, anyone who'd like to volunteer, would like to read these verbs out loudly.
Can I?
Madam, may I?
Yes, Harsh, please.
Believe, dislike, love, recognize, understand, hate, remember, want, know, prefer, suppose, wish, like, realize.
Good.
Yes.
So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
Prefer is a kind of feeling.
yes. How would you say? Is it something true when you say I prefer? It is because it's your feeling that you prefer this, right?
Okay. Now, one more. What is this? Actually, you must have taught in the previous class. What is this stative verb? Just in one line.
Stative verbs are all those verbs that do not change into ing. They remain the same.
I can tell whether my understanding is correct. Can I tell you whether my understanding is correct?
Yes, yes, tell me.
Here is the ing is coming now, ma'am. Understanding is coming.
Understanding?
No,
Here?
you are telling. Yeah,
Understand.
understand is there, but we can also use it as understanding. Whether my understanding is correct.
That is not a verb.
It's a
Gerund.
gerund. It's a
Gerund.
Yes.
It's a gerund.
That's a gerund. That's not a verb.
Okay,
Whether
okay.
my understanding that it looks like a verb, it doesn't function like a verb. Whether my understanding is correct, whether my bag is red. So whether my understanding is like bag. Making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a
Ma'am,
verb.
if I'm
Yes.
saying I am loving this drink, I am loving it. Is it right or wrong?
It is wrong.
It is wrong. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, we can't also use the word think, right? I think that is correct. We can't say I am thinking that is correct. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, we are going to get there. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about all verbs of senses. Now, when I say senses, all sensory organs which can help us decipher some verbs will also never ever be used in an ing format. Any other volunteer? Next person would like to just read
May
out.
I?
Can
Yes.
man?
Yes.
May?
May I?
I think Ruchi, was that you who asked me the first?
Yes.
question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
And Palak, next list is yours. Ruchi,
Okay,
please.
ma'am.
Appear, look, smell, taste, feel, seem, sound, hear.
Okay, appear, no, this PEAR is there, but appear.
Appear.
And yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Palak, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Agree, belong, need, own, be, disagree, owe, possess.
Okay, so these are words that we do not use with ing. So if we do not use ing, what do we use? We always use the simple present tense conjugation with these verbs. You can say, I understand you, I can understand, I am able to understand, I would understand, I will understand, but no way can you say I'm understanding it or I'm understanding you. Making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, are you understanding is also wrong?
Yes. Do you understand? Can you understand?
Okay.
Have you understood?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Another example, these cookies taste wonderful, cannot say these cookies are tasting wonderful. Hence, all verbs which belong to this category will not be used in ing. Is that clear? Good so far?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Questions,
Yes, ma'am.
anyone? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. Ma'am, when we are ending any letter or any email, earlier we used to write thanking you. Is that wrong?
I would, yeah. I mean, see, the thing is when you say thanking you, right? It means like I'm thanking you right now, but yeah, try to use thank you. It's better rather than thanking you.
Ma'am, can I?
Ma'am?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Ma'am, many time people remark on this. I mean, why you do not wrote thanking you? Why you did thank you? Many time many time my senior also remark on it, that why you didn't use this. Means,
The right thing is thank you. It's not thanking you. When I say
Okay.
thanking, so see, when I say thanking you, it just means that right now I am thanking you, but I genuinely or generally do not have that gratitude. That's not a
Okay.
great sign to offer, right?
Yes, yes. No, so then I will next time I will I mean if sir senior will told me, then I will reply to him now like this.
All the best, Ruchi.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, I
Next
have a
person.
question.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
In the ending of the any letters, we have to use the
Wait,
thanking
no.
words,
Ani-
thanking
um,
words.
Anita, once again, please.
Many times in the ending of the letter, we have to use thanking you words.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct or incorrect?
Thank you. Prefer thank you.
In the ending of the letter.
Yes, yes. Instead of using ing, don't use ing. Okay?
Mostly we have to use this word in
No,
the
see, the
many
point
letters.
is, yeah. See, there are many ways to say thank you also towards the end. But the point is that you want to say thank you. So it's not mandatory to say thanking you. It's better to say thank you rather than saying thanking you. One, it's informal. Two, the perspective is not right.
Okay.
Okay?
Ma'am, but many times in practice, actually, thanking you. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me.
It's a request to
Hello.
everyone. Please switch off your unmute your speaker's microphone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's so annoying.
Okay, I'm going to move
Ma'am?
forward. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question.
I have a question.
Okay, you go.
Okay. Tell me.
Ma'am, both the parties were on agreeing terms, so we can't use agreeable terms. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Next question.
Ma'am, we often listen some words like I'm feeling so cold or I'm feeling so lonely. So as you previously said that we cannot use ing after the feel. So they were wrong or something. I can't understand actually that.
So, Priyank, see, when you say I am feeling very cold, that means right now at 10:22, 23 p.m., I am feeling very cold. Okay?
Yes.
That's what it means. So
Yes, but
in that perspective, or when I think the second statement was I am feeling lonely,
Yes,
means
ma'am.
that right now at 10:23 p.m. I'm feeling lonely. That's
Yes, ma'am.
all that it means. And like I said, most of these verbs you can use, like for example, you tell me what is the answer to this question, and I'm like, wait, give me a minute, and then you pester me or ask me that question again, and then I say, wait, give me a minute, I'm thinking. So
Yes, yes.
it's not like I can't say I'm thinking, but the only time I can say is like right now I'm thinking.
Okay.
In this micro nanosecond, I'm doing that action, hence present continuous. Apart from that, in no other way, I will put an ing to these words.
Okay.
Okay?
Ma'am, I've posted a question in the chat box. Since everybody was interrupting, I didn't get a chance to answer ask my question. Can you please answer my question?
I will take a look at the chat box right towards the end, because right now I really want to, just continue with this, at least try to cover half of this. So towards the end, another 5-7 minutes, I'm going to look at the chat box, and then if you want, you can quickly ask me a question if it pertains to present continuous.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I was asking a question. If somebody has asked us, for example, in a question sense, somebody has used the word prefer. So should we use, by answering it, can we use the ing for preferring, or we are not supposed to use it?
No. So see, how do you, okay,
For
let's talk.
example, somebody has asked me, what do you prefer? So do I answer it, okay, I am preferring it, or do I answer it in
No. Never I am preferring it. I prefer, always.
Okay.
Okay. See, what does prefer mean as a verb? Anyone who'd like to tell me? Unmute yourself quickly. What does prefer mean?
I would like. Means I am my choice.
Okay, anyone else?
Choice between
Ma'am,
many options.
Priority of
ma'am,
choice.
ma'am,
You like something better than other.
Yeah, okay. So these two words, priority of choice, liking something better than the other. Anyone else?
To choose something over the other.
Okay. Now I'm going to quickly talk about the verb prefer. When I say prefer, there is in my mind, I have a clear, I would say, hierarchy of things when I'm using the word prefer. Right? For example, I say I prefer coffee over tea because I only drink coffee. I know that. So when I say I prefer coffee over tea, prefer means to like something generally. That's what prefer means. Making
Then
sense?
both
Like
are
I
another.
most likely in most cases, this is what I would do means prefer. The verb in itself has that aspect in it. You can't, that is why use it in ing. Making sense?
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question with present continuous? Okay.
No, ma'am.
I am going to quickly start with the next one, which is present perfect as well. Anyone who can give me the syntax of present perfect, how does it look? What is present perfect?
As well has and have is used in the present perfect tense.
ED, the word with ED.
The act has been done, but its impact is
Hard is used.
still continue. What I pursue.
I didn't get that, Priyank. Once again.
The act has done just recently, but its impact is still continue.
Okay, thank you. Syntax, anyone else? Okay.
Syntax is
I have done.
Object to have form.
I have done my work. Taken my meal.
What?
I have taken my meal.
Yes, yes.
I have
As
done my work.
followed by past participle.
Thank you.
Yes. Ma'am, it's subject has have plus past participle.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the syntax of a present perfect tense, how does it look like? We'll have a subject. For the sake of the subject, I'm going to use we here. We, because it is plural, will use have. We have worked on this. We have done this. So whichever verb 3 past participle of that is the syntax of present perfect tense. So far, good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Why do we use it? Number one, the reason we incorporate a present perfect tense is because, see, with the present, simple present tense, it means usual, normal, often, regular. Okay. When I say present continuous, it means right now, like literally right now, nano microsecond right now. Versus when I say present perfect tense, number one, it talks about the fact that the initiation of the particular action has been somewhere in my past, but it is something which is impacting even my present. The action is not completely over. However, the perspective is not to decipher if the action is over or not. That's secondary or perhaps tertiary here. What's imperative and primary is the fact that we need to be able to highlight that experience, that experience has been there up until the present moment, up until now. That's what's important with present perfect tense. Something, an example for something that has started in the past continues in the present. She has lived in Liverpool all her life. I have worked in the field of linguistics for over 10 years. They have slept all afternoon. Now, when I say I have worked in the field, have I stopped doing that action?
No.
No, ma'am.
I'm still doing it. But I started it about 14, 15 years ago. Making sense? That or 20 years ago or 25 years ago. It has to be in my past. Up until right now, I'm doing it. It is impacting my present. It's not out of my life. Because hence the fact that it is not out of my life is what allows it to be a present perfect tense. Making sense?
Yes.
So it has an aspect of present and it has an aspect of completion or termination of a certain action. When I say present, it'll be has lived, have worked, have. So this have is what tells me that it is impacting my present. What tells me that that action was started in the past is the participle that follows, which is lived, worked, and slept respectively in these sentences. Are we good?
Yes.
She has lived in Liverpool
Yes,
all
ma'am.
her life. It means that still she is living in Liverpool also we can consider. No?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Second point to highlight. Anyone question?
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. The Liverpool one. Ma'am, I want to add something, ma'am. I have taken my meal. That means that I am not hungry yet. I am not hungry now. I have taken my meal, thus I am not hungry now. Thus I do not prefer to eat now. Like that, ma'am?
Noori, you can keep elongating the sentence as much as you want. I mean, there's no limit to that.
Ma'am,
I don't know what.
as the
Okay,
result
Noori,
is-
listen.
as
If
a
you have a
result is-
doubt, ask me that. If it is a sentence you want me to look at, send it in the chat box or towards the end. Please, I want to continue. If you have a question, ask me that.
Ma'am, the Liverpool one.
What is the question?
Ma'am, she has lived in Liverpool. Ma'am, I didn't get the.
This is a place. She has lived in Mumbai all her life. This is a place.
Ma'am, is she dead now? Like,
no. No. Because this
It
is
means that
has.
she is still living here now. She has lived there for a long period of time and she's still living there. She's not dead.
So the point here, Noori, the point is when I say she has lived in Liverpool all her life, I'm trying to say that she started living in that place when she was young. As of now, she is still or she may not. We don't know with complete certainty that if that action is true or not. Sometimes in these sentences, you can say that the action is continuous, but in certain sentences which we are going to look at with the same tense,
Ma'am,
you
you're
will
not
see that
audible.
those tenses are not, those actions are not continuous. Is that good, Noori?
Yes, ma'am.
So it means that both could be the situation, whether it is continuing or it is not continuing.
Yeah, either way. Because see, the point is it's the experience that matters. Here, what's important is that the fact that she's lived in Liverpool. I don't want to talk about, what, where, when, how. I have worked in the field of linguistics for over 10 years. It is something I started in the past and I'm still doing it. But again, what, where, when, how is missing, right? So it's the experience, the occurrence of that act which is important. Making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Question?
Then what is the difference between the present continuous and present perfect tense? Present perfect tense one, because in the present continuous also I am continuing that work. Here,
Like for example, Ramesh, I'm going to answer your question very quickly. When I say I am working in the field of linguistics, that means I'm doing it right now. You have no idea about it, what I did in the past and what I'm going to do in the future. Versus I have worked means I have some experience in it. I have started that action in the past. Present continuous, remember, now right now. It cannot have a longer duration.
okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, what
Another
is meant by
question?
participle?
Yes.
Ma'am, what is meant by participle?
A participle is a form of the verb. It can be of two kinds. It can be present participle, which ends with ing. It will be past participle that can end with d, taken, en, slept, t, walked, ed. These are various forms. And the purpose of a participle is to depict the time period that it is trying to represent. Good, Harshita?
Yeah, ma'am, is it same as this tenses, past, simple present,
Okay,
present?
Harshita, see, your question is very important for you to be able to understand this topic, but tomorrow there is an extra class and I'm going to address it again in detail tomorrow. Okay, your difference
Yes.
with parts. Okay, I will address it tomorrow. Anyone else? And I'm going to pause here for today. I'm going to restart with present perfect in the next class, which is tomorrow. And
Last,
meanwhile, if there's any other question, please ask. I'm going to quickly scroll through the chat box and take a look at the questions.
ma'am, last example which you have written that they have slept all afternoon. So what does that mean? Whether they are still sleeping or not?
Is the afternoon over? It depends on that. If it is evening, here it means they have slept all afternoon. If the afternoon is over, definitely they're not sleeping. If the afternoon is still going on, then they are sleeping. Making sense?
So both the person you can suppose at present it is evening. So in that case also we can use the same language. They have
Yes. Yes, because Ramesh, it's important for you to understand that the end of the action is not important with present perfect. The occurrence of that action is important, not the end. Gopika, where do they live? What do you think about
This you're displaying here. The material is will be mailed to us, ma'am. How is it, ma'am?
Yes, Ramesh, it's on LMS already.
Okay.
I think you would have your user ID and password to access. Gopika, last, why does he called is incorrect. Does is present, called is past. Okay. Kiran, what is it that you want me to repeat? Which usage of present continuous?
Madam, you have not explained the various
one?
uses of present continuous tense. In what kind of sentences we use present continuous? You skipped that part.
That's not in this document. There were two documents for today. It's here. I'm going to do it tomorrow. It was not in this document. If you see this document, it just has this, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So yeah, I mean, today's document had today's class has two documents. So yeah, I will address it.
That you are going to explain the except who part later on.
Which part? Again?
The present simple tense. Under that part, we had a except who part.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
yes.
That section. So are you going to explain it today?
I will. Give me, I'm just going through the chat box. Just give me a minute to understand everyone's questions, please.
Ma'am, there is one question. Actually, those who have joined the classes from this month only. So how will they cover the previous lectures?
So the ones who've joined this month, this August batch, you will have extra classes and the schedule will be communicated. Remember in the onboarding, it was told that it'll take 2-3 days for, and I will be able to, the team will convey when the, sessions are going to be held. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
I can see those in the assignment portal. So should it be handwritten or we can just type like
Lucky,
in water?
In 2 minutes. Just give me 1 minute. I will talk about the assignment portal. Okay, everyone. Now, tomorrow we have a class. I think it's scheduled at 9:30 itself. Zikishu, are you in the session? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, tomorrow's class is for 9:30 itself.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so it's for 9:30. That's one. And two, I'm going to cover the usage of these tenses, talk about not only these aspects pertaining to simple present and present continuous and past, present perfect, talk about those aspects more in detail. As of the assignment portal, I think you have to upload. Zigishu will address that towards the end in another 5 minutes. Anyone questions pertaining to language, class? Not pertaining to the portal, anything that's if there is something which is unclear, please let me know. I will make sure that I add that to tomorrow's segment.
Ma'am, actually, I didn't get what are you saying.
right now?
Yes, ma'am.
That there is one class tomorrow, which is also going to be about tenses. That's what I'm saying. Is that good? Is that clear now?
Yes.
Vanshika,
Yes, ma'am.
tenses are going to elongate over a period of the next 2 weeks, I guess, because this is just present. We are going to go into the detail of past, then we're going to go into the detail of future, and then we're going to see how past is used for future. And I'm also going to talk about how future is used for subjunctive. So tenses are going to, I think, take about a week or two. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
ma'am, I have some confusions regarding when do we use double S in a sentence and when do we not. So can you just explain it perhaps tomorrow or maybe on Sunday's class?
Yes. So what you do is tomorrow towards the end in the chat box, write down the points you have a confusion in. I will include them during Sunday session. Okay. But
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
okay,
if you
ma'am.
can write it in the chat box, once I have, like, I'll make a note, I'll remember it then. Okay.
Sure, ma'am, I will do.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
No,
Question?
ma'am.
Okay, so one, we haven't completed a few aspects of the tenses. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. Most likely, I think we may have an extra class over the weekend. I will let all of you know by tomorrow or by Friday so that we are able to complete all of this. Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay, I'm going to pause for today. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. And I shall see all of you tomorrow at the same time, 9:30 p.m. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question regarding the weekly exercise.